In this series of 3 videos, we will tell you everything about the dikes in the Bajo Piura, the emergency work carried out to address the impact of the phenomenon El Niño in 2017 and the solution proposed for the rehabilitation of the riverside defenses in the Piura River. In this first video, we will talk about breakages of levees and a description of the affected areas. In a second video, we will talk about the evaluation of the right and left levees. And finally, in a third video, we will tell you about the technical solution at the conceptual level that can be carried out to solve the pressing problems around the system that depend on the river. Without further ado, let's begin. Dike breakages in Bajo Piura. Between 1972 and 1973, floods occurred in Piura due to extraordinary event of El Niño, and breakages were recorded in medium-sized dikes that were reinforced around 1976. With the planning of the Piura project and its first phase later around 1979, in order to reduce the risk of flooding in the irrigation areas and in the population settled along the Bajo Piura route, these comforting dikes in the Bajo Piura flood defense system were lengthened, and for this reason they show in some singularities and its plan of the current alignment of the Piura River. With the start of the second stage of the Piura project, between 1981 and 1985, the current channeling dams were built with a distance between them of 500 to 800 meters. The phenomenon El Niño makes its appearance between 1982 and 1983, ruptures in the total destruction of approximately 15 kilometers of dikes occurred, in addition to the erosion of the banks and the significant length of the river on the banks of the city. Around 1986, the dikes were rebuilt, providing them with adequate protection against score by riprap tow protection and grounds, since the phenomenon of score of local erosion have been the main cause of failure. Between 1998 and 1999, the phenomenon El Niño made its appearance again with the rupture of the left dike 0.5 kilometers upstream and the Dren Alcantarilla 1308, in addition to the loss of the 3 important bridges. Between the year 2000 and 2001, an evaluation of the defense system against floods in the Piura River was carried out. During the months of February and March 2017, in the Piura region, there were significant rains due to the phenomenon El Niño Costero. This precipitation caused various effects on the regional infrastructure due to its rights of rivers, activation of strips and flooding in populated centers. On March the 27th, 2017, the maximum flood occurred in the Piura River with a flow greater than 3,400 cubic meters per second. It was swollen to such an extent that the river overflowed, affecting the dikes in the Bajo Piura in different parts, causing flooding in the valley of the left margin of the Bajo Piura. After this event, it was possible to identify 6 breaks in the left dam, this being the critical points. This figure shows the hydrograph of the Piura River during the maximum flood of March 27, 2017, according to Proyecto Especial Piura hydrometeorology records. The progressive flooding since March 26 is clearly noticeable, with a peak flow of 3,468 cubic meters per second at 12 o'clock on March the 27th. After that, the decrease in flow can be seen, ending on March the 28th with 1,600 cubic meters per second. Defense dam, description of the affected sectors. The defense dikes in the Bajo Piura along the river are works aimed to controlling the flowing of the venues in the riverbed. For such quality, they are essential component of the defense system of the valley against floods. According to the location of the Piura riverbed and the defended areas, 2 defense dams were built, one on the right bank and the other on the left bank of the river. The design flow for defense dikes has been evaluated and or adapted in accordance with the value of the assets in the aforementioned areas that are protected against flooding, and in general it is not the same for the dikes, nor alone the alignment for each of them. This image shows Google Earth view of the Piura River in Bajo Piura. This figure shows the scheme of the Bajo Piura system. This table shows the design flows of the levees in the second stage. This table shows the design flows of the dams according to the class Saltgitter Study 2001. This image shows the typical section of the dam as built. Free edge 0.6 meters on one side and free edge of 0.85 meters on the other. Spillway capacity 1,400 cubic meters per second. In general, the typical cross-section of the defense dikes is of these dimensions. In order to achieve the impermeability of the body of the dikes and to make the most of the available material, the body of the dike was made up to two parts. Compared field with common material in the downstream part, compacted field with impermeable material on the water parallel. This figure shows the profile of the crown of the left breakwater considering the design elevation current construction. Accordingly, it can be seen that the study carried out in 2001 considered the spillway Santa Rosa at kilometer 17 to discharge the excess flow on the left bank of the valley. However, according to what is indicated on the plans and in the field, this spillway was never built up. Thus, it can also be seen that from kilometer 13 Narihualá, the level of the crown of the built dike is on average 1 meter below the design level of the study carried out. Breaks in the left dock. The left dam is located on the left bank of the Piura River. Taking the Bolognesi Bridge as a reference with progressive at kilometer 0, breakwater begins at kilometer 0.2 and ends at kilometer 974 of the north of the Panamericana Norte, comprising a total length of the approximately 30.4 kilometers. The left dike has been the most effective riverside defense, given that the river overflowed in various sectors due to the flooding, surpassing the crown of the left dike. That is why there have been 6 significant ruptures, these being vulnerable areas where the flooding of a large part of the Bajo Piura Valley and its populated centers on the left margin began. At these points, the breaks of the left dam occurred. The Viduque Break. The Viduque Break is located 3.3 kilometers downstream from the Ground Bridge, on the left bank in the Rancho restaurant area. This rupture affected residents and farmers on the town of Viduque, Catacaos, and Simbilá. In this sector, the separation between dikes is approximately 480 meters. This image shows the location of Viduque Break. This photo shows the Viduque Break in the Rancho restaurant sector. This photo shows the emergency works filling with own material, placement of bags and geomembrane, placement of rock on the slope downstream. According to the post-impact assessment, it was observed that the main riverbed of this area is about 200 meters from the dam. However, during the flooding began in this sector. Likewise, it was observed that the lowest area of the crown of the dike in this section, which is why it represents a vulnerable point in the event of the river rising. This photo shows the closure of the Viduque Break with its own material and placement to rock on the slope downstream. In this phase of the emergency, the sector was closed by placing its own material and rock on the slope towards the river as a protection measure against a possible flood. Currently, passability has been recovered through the access road. However, it requires more intervention to recover the width of the crown. This photo shows the old artisanal intake of the river. This photo shows the Rancho restaurant, which was flooded. The Narihualá Break. The Narihualá Break is located 1.9 kilometers upstream from the Independence Ridge on the left bank, about 150 meters from the road of the Bajo Piura. This rupture affected residents and farmers of the town of Narihualá, Pedregal, Chico, and Catacaos. The emergency works in this sector were carried out by refurbishing and filling of the break zone with its own material close to the sector. Filling and shaping of the dike section was carried out. However, to carry out this closure, dike material from an affected sector was used, thus increasing at the weakened area. This image shows the location of the Narihualá Break and the Pedregal Chico Break. This photo shows the Narihualá Break. This photo shows the emergency works to close and rebuild the dike. This photo shows the left dam in the Narihualá sector after the emergency work carried out. This photo shows the sections of embankment cut away for the removal of material for the fill of the break. Pedregal Chico Break. The Pedregal Chico Break, Sector Dos Animas, is located 700 meters upstream from the Independencia Ridge on the left bank next to the Bajo Piura highway. This break was the most important since it included the dam and the road. Residents and farmers in these districts of Caracaos and Curamari were affected, with the town of Pedregal Chico being the most affected. This photo shows the Pedregal Chico Break, Sector Dos Animas. This photo shows the emergency work carried out to close the breach, fill, and reshape the sections of the dike and road. This sector was treated as an emergency given its importance for communication and access to Bajo Piura. The necessary work was carried out to close the dam and reshape the temporary access road. It is necessary to mention that in this sector geobags were used as a protection on the embankment of the dike, thus seeking to mitigate the erosion process. This photo shows the emergency work carried out on the Pedregal Chico, Sector Dos Animas, to recover passability and the eroded section of the dike. The Molino Azul Break. The Molino Azul Break is located 800 meters downstream from the Independencia Ridge on the left bank. Residents and farmers of Molino Azul, La Campiña, Pedregal Chico, Pedregal Alto, and Cuncungará were affected. This photo shows the Molino Azul Break. This sector comprises the length of approximately 17 meters with fluid water around the dam. The failure zone was depth of 11 meters at its most critical point, which gives an idea of the magnitude of the undermining of the dike in this sector. In turn, the dike in this entire section shows erosion on the slopes. The typical section has been by more than 50%, weakening the entire riverside defense. After three ruptures occurred near the Independencia Bridge, Narihualá, Pedregal Chico, and Molino Azul, which are in sections less than 3 kilometers. It shows that the impact of the Independencia Bridge has had on the behavior of the river. Well, having a length less than the width of the channel, this is a strangulation of the section, generating higher speeds in the sections, being at the same time an obstacle influencing the backwater and increasing water levels upstream. This has generated local phenomena of sedimentation and erosion in sectors near the bridge. The Chato Chico Break. The Chato Chico Break is located near the end point of the La Bruja Channel, on the left bank, in an area where the dike bends towards the Panamericana Norte. This rupture is the largest since it's not only caused by overflow, but also by erosion of the river. In this section, the Piura River makes a curve due to the increase in flow, has a bend towards the dam, working its natural course, affecting a good part of the defense, approximately 120 meters. This image shows the location of the Chato Chico Break and San Antonio. The towns of Chato Chico, Pozo Los Ramos, and Chato Grande were affected since communication through the dam was lost, since the crown of the dam is used as a rural access route to the Panamericana Norte, through which the residents moved the villages. This photo shows the extreme points of the Chato Chico Break. This photo shows the curved view that the river develops in the break center. The San Antonio Break. The San Antonio Break is located in the final section of the left side, about 800 meters from the Panamericana Norte, kilometer 974. It is important to mention that this breakage was caused by residents themselves, given that the internal part of the dam was flooded. with the purpose of venting and alleviating the left dam was broken in the sections to channel its water towards the river. However, since its low-lying area, its waterlogging condition remains. This photo shows the view of the curve that the river develops in the break center. During the evaluation of the left dike, access was sought through various accesses, in which traces of the water course were observed in the drains, canals, and roads. According to the version of the settlers, when the river overflowed during the flood, it flowed a course towards the San Antonio Break. In other words, when the river overflowed, it crossed the valley to the lower areas, draining through the last break, which was caused by the residents to evacuate the flood. This image represents the possible course of the water during the floods from the three breaks near the Independencia Bridge. This has been all for the moment. In the following video, we will talk about the evaluation of the right and left dikes and the affected areas. If you like this video, please share it, give us a like, subscribe to this channel, and activate the bell. See you.